we're going to look at a playing technique to try and develop extra tricks when you're a declarer, and it's called the finesse. A finesse is an attempt to gain a trick with a card that would normally be beaten by a higher card. Generally, you would play a low card towards honour cards, hoping that the second player has the missing honour card. Let's have a look at that in action. Imagine you have these cards and dummy has gone down with the ace, queen and 3. How are you going to try and make 2 tricks in this suit? Well, you're going to take a finesse. What this means is you're going to play a low card from your hand towards the queen. And if the second player does not play the king, you're going to play the queen. I call this the wishing game. So you're going to lead that 4, and while you're leading it, you're saying to yourself, I wish, 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 wish that the king is on my left. Because if the king is on my left, what is that left-hand opponent going to do? They can play low, or if you put the queen on, it's going to win the trick, isn't it? And then you've got your ace, and you've made 2 tricks. If you lead your low card, and your left-hand opponent decides to put the king up, well, you'll snaffle it up with the ace, won't you? And then you've got the queen, and you've got your 2 tricks. So you're leading a card towards the honour card, and you're hoping the missing honour is with the second player, because if so, you've got them trapped. But of course it's only a 50-50 chance, because sometimes it'll be the last player to the trick who turns up with the king, and you'll lose your queen to the king. But it's a 50-50 chance, and it's better than no chance at all. If you just lead out the queen from dummy, you're definitely not going to make it, are you? Because the king will just take the trick. But by leading low to those honours, you have a chance of making that queen if the king is with the second player. Try and see it again on this next hand. You've got the holding there of the queen, jack 10, and dummy's got the ace, 9, 8. How are you going to make 3 tricks in this suit? Well, you're going to play the queen from your hand, and you're going to wish, wish, wish that your left-hand opponent is holding the king. Because if the second player has the king, they're stuck, aren't they? What are they going to do? You've played the queen. If the second player plays low, you'll play low as well. Your queen will hold the trick. Then you'll just repeat the finesse. You'll play the jack. What's the second player going to do now with that king? Well, if he plays the king, you'll just take it with the ace and you'll come back to your 10. That's good. If he doesn't play the king a second time, well, you'll just play the 9 and your jack will hold the trick. Then you'll make the ace and you'll end up making 3 tricks in the suit. Again, it's only a 50-50 chance when you play that queen and the second player plays low. You're just on your wishing game, hoping that the player to your left had that king. If not, well, the player to your right, they'll put the king on and they'll win a trick. Now imagine you've got these cards. How are you going to make 1 trick in this suit? Well, you're going to need to finesse, aren't you? You're going to need to take a finesse on the king. So you'll lead a low card from your hand towards the king. And you wish, wish, wish that the ace this time is in the second player's hand. Because if your left-hand opponent now has the ace, what are they going to do with it? Well, if they put it up, solves your problem, doesn't it? Your king in dummy will become good next time you play that suit. If they play low and you play the king, what's going to hold the trick? Now, of course, it's only a 50-50 chance. Maybe your right-hand opponent has got the ace and you play up to the king and the ace comes down on it and you don't win a trick in the suit. But a 50% chance is better than no chance. So be on the lookout for taking a finesse, lead low to the honour and hope the card you're worried about is sitting with the second player. Imagine you have these cards and you want to try and make 2 tricks in the suit. How are you going to do it? Well, if you lead a low card towards the king and queen, you want to wish, wish, wish that the ace is with the second player. Because if the left-hand opponent has the ace, what are they going to do? They can put the ace up, you'll just play the 8, and then you'll make the king and queen later. There are your 2 tricks. But if you lead the 2 and the second player plays low, just put your queen on and see what happens. If the second player had the ace, that queen's going to hold. Then you need to return to your hand via another suit to repeat the finesse. So you'll lead another low card up to the king, and if the ace doesn't appear, play the king, and you'll have won a second trick. If your second hand opponent decides, well, I'll put up the ace now, well, you'll just play the 8, won't you? And your king will be a good trick for later. So as a general rule, when you have missing honours, keep an eye out for an opportunity to finesse, hoping that the second player has the missing honours. Good luck in trying out the finesse. Happy bridging.